alaikum, everyone. My name is Fayaz Nawabi, and we are thankful for everyone for joining this webinar. We're going to be doing just a brief introduction of who ANSAR is. Alhamdulillah, ANSAR is a umbrella organization with several community-based organizations that predominantly serve the AMEMSA community. Alhamdulillah, the Middle Eastern, Muslim, South Asian, North African community. Alhamdulillah, and we were created because we saw what had occurred and transpired in Afghanistan, and in response to the large number of refugees and Afghan arrivals that were coming, many of the organizations here in Southern California wanted to work together to collaborate to make sure that we are, inshallah, ready to receive these Afghan arrivals and provide services for them and connect them with our local masajid, with our local services that many of our wonderful local community-based organizations here in Southern California provide. So without further ado, inshallah ta'ala, I am going to be uh, giving the floor, inshallah ta'ala, to one of our wonderful leaders in the community, and that is Brother Awais Dadaboy. Brother Awais, mashallah, has been doing great work in our communities, and mashallah, his organization Uplift has been a big lift for the Afghan arrivals and other marginalized communities that have been struggling here in the Southern California region. Without further ado, I would like to hand it off to Brother Awais.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It's good to talk to everyone today and those that will maybe watch this later on. Wanted to give everyone a rundown of what is happening. In the last couple of months or so, Afghans have started to come here to Southern California and throughout California and throughout the country. As you know, as you saw those scenes on TV that were happening live a couple of months ago, when the regime changed in Afghanistan, what ended up happening is some people wanted to leave the country. And so, 60, 70, perhaps 80,000 people were able to leave. And so they've been placed on bases throughout the country in America, and now are being put into different states and cities within the country. And so in California, we have probably more than 10% of the population of Afghan arrivals will be coming here. Sacramento will have the largest area or the largest number. And so they're going to have, well over 3,000. I can't remember the numbers. The numbers are very large. Los Angeles, which has 3 refugee resettlement agencies, will have well over 1,000, as will San Diego. And Orange County will have over 300 at minimum in between now and February of 2022. What typically happens for refugee resettlement agencies is that, Syrians have come over in the past, Iraqis have come over, Somalis have come over, Burmese have come over. They come in batches. And what typically happens is you have 1 or 2 families come in a week. Maybe, 6 to 8 families come in a month. And so it's very manageable. What's happening this time, because all these families, these Afghan families are on bases and they've been there for 2 months plus, they need to now be put into, the cities and states that they're going to permanently live in. And so that has created a little bit of an emergency. The ANSAR network here in Southern California has really been helpful, has mobilized, the Afghan community has mobilized, and the greater Muslim community has mobilized, as have other communities from other faith groups. So I wanted to take you through a little bit of what happens, but first I wanted to mention Uplift Charity, who I hope you've heard of before. Started in 2006. I'm one of the founders, local Zakat administrator. We recently were given the opportunity to become a refugee resettlement agency in Orange County. We're the only ones in Orange County. The other ones that used to be here are no longer here. So what does this mean for Uplift Charity and the other refugee resettlement agencies? One, when you are given a family to pick up, what is the responsibility, right? So the first thing that you have to do is you have to go pick them up from the airport. So typically it's LAX. Yesterday, Uplift picked up 3 families, 11 people, at 3:17 p.m. Had to be there, right? Take a big van, pick them up. So what do? You pick them up and you take them initially to a motel. The agency, in this case, Uplift, pays for the hotel and provides meals. The first meal, warm or hot meal from a restaurant typically, and then provides them enough to be able to support themselves, provides some spending money as well. And then the next step after that is to sign them up for a social security number. Once they have that, then we sign them up for social services, sign up the children for schooling. And then, along with all of this going on at the same time, the Refugee Resettlement Agency also needs to find an apartment for them. As you know, housing is a very difficult challenge in all of California right now, and very specifically in Orange County. Even the 3 refugee resettlement agencies in Los Angeles are sending a number of their newly arriving Afghans into Orange County. So it's making this glut here. So we will try to put people in Orange County, in parts of Los Angeles, in the Inland Empire as well. So once you get them an apartment, then you furnish the apartment. After you furnish the apartment, or concurrently while you're working on all that, you try to assess the family and see who amongst the family is able to work. And so for the folks that are able to work, you work with different companies, businesses, to find employment. And once you find employment, you might start to help them to become self-sufficient. But until they're self-sufficient, you assist them as an agency to cover, shortfall in rent. If they have any additional food needs, if they, need to be paired up with someone, all of those things need to happen. So one of the challenges that comes up is the family will not have a vehicle right away, will not know anyone. So what we want to do as the ANSAR network, and what Uplift wants to do with the ANSAR network, being part of it as well, is to create this buddy program where we can have a family be connected with a center, with a community, with a family, with more than one family, so they have someone that they can speak with. Now, it could be somebody that speaks their language. If they speak English, if the Afghan family speaks English, it can be someone that speaks English. But one of the languages that the family speaks, it would be nice to connect a buddy with that particular family. And I've come to know that there's 3 predominant languages in Afghanistan. I'm learning every day as well. So it's Dari, Pashto, and Farsi. So as I mentioned, usually you have 1 or 2 families a week. Right now, it's quite a bit more. On Monday, Uplift will be picking up 20 people, which is, I think, 4 or 5 different families. Initially, the organization that we worked through, which is in Virginia, had told us that we would be sent 80 plus people on that one day, which would be 20 to 25 families, which is nearly impossible to handle. So what we all need now is volunteers, right? Volunteers is going to be a big piece of this. Yesterday, Uplift staff went and picked up the families and also took them to the hotel, and then other staff members brought in the meals and set them up, spoke with them in their native language as well. But as we receive more and more families, that's going to be unsustainable just to have our staff do it, even though we've tripled the size of our staff in the last 2 months, and we're going to be adding more people as well. But for all this to work out for the long term, we need a community effort, and that's why we're talking to you here today. So I'll turn it back to Fayaz.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you, Brother Uwais, for that very important information on what the refugee resettlement agencies are doing right now in supporting this great cause of helping resettle the Afghan arrivals. Inshallah ta'ala, we're going to be moving forward with the program, and I'm going to be handing it off to Brother Kabir Moman, who is the president of the Afghan American Community Cultural Center. Inshallah ta'ala, he's going to be talking about what the AACC has been doing with Ansar to support our efforts in helping with the Afghan arrivals. Without further ado, Brother Kabir.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Faiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Greeting to everybody who are here with us and also seeing us later on. Thank you for the intro, and I would like to thank Brother Dadabai for his explanation about the refugee issues. Just one little, advice things. The Dari and Farsi is kind of the similar, but mostly Afghans are using Dari. So, yeah, you have to learn only two language, not three. So the third one you can work on Uzbeki for later. Anyway, back to our program. Once again, thank you for the program. Thank you for the opportunity. Afghan American Cultural Center is a non-political partisan organization located here in Southern California, serving the Afghan community and established to provide a sense of harmony, brotherhood among themselves, and to preserve the Afghan cultural and value and tradition and transfer to the next generation. Our main purpose here in the aim is to be a leading voice for the Afghan American community here in the South. Recently, with the influx of refugee, as Brother Owais mentioned, that it's been such a large amount, and in the past we have heard also refugee resettlement program once a month, twice a month, or something, or even in bi-weekly, one family, and that was not an easy task in itself, but like Brother Owais said, it's manageable. But nowadays, with the situation in Afghanistan changing, everything has changed. We have to put our resources together, our effort together. Not one organization can handle this. I would call it a massive, influx of refugee that's coming up. We all have been here as a refugee. Most of us, at least I can say, personally, I have been a refugee. Was a refugee when I came into this country, into the experience. So we wanted to be, the supportive group here for the refugees that they're coming right now. A few things that Afghan American Cultural Center has been doing is we are trying to be the first point of contact to these families, picking them sometime from the airport, but not necessarily, because there are lots of organization and volunteers who are handling that. We go in trying to have the initial assessment together with some of volunteer group, and specifically I'm going to mention the Afghan Refugee Relief, that who have been very productive in this sense. And we go to their house, to their hotels, to the place, if they're guests in somebody's house, or they have found a home already, apartment for them. We visit them, we take the initial assessment and see what do they need, and then we pass that along to other agencies and see what we can do. So also, if they found a new place, we help them out move in, try to arrange for transportation for them, help them go to social services, apply for benefits, provide them a household item, register their kids, in sometimes their adult family members into adult school. If they need any medical assistance, we try to be assisted over, in that area. The main thing also for the Afghan American Cultural Center that we intended to provide for the American, Afghan American here, which is a cultural understanding and things, but now it's more needed for the new arrivals, so that we want to teach them the basics of this of living here in the state. I could assure you there are some people that who are, they need very basic understanding of the life here, and we took it from our own experience that how much we were uninformed of the American society here. In most cases, we are trying to be Afghan American cultures want to be a facilitator in a way, because other agencies who have the task of resettlement, like the Uplift Charity or the other organization, they are providing some, the main resources and things, but that's not enough, and that's why we are trying to be facilitator and provider, if we could, in a way, so that you can give them the proper channel where to apply for their benefits and the services that is applicable for them. But most importantly, I would say the one very important thing is the ACC wants to be there to as a support group, since moving to a new environment is a difficult experience, as I mentioned. We have arranged a couple of these group meetings for these families and intend to provide more get together for them so they get to introduce to each other and adjust themselves to the American society. Within the Ansar umbrella, AEC would like to be more effective and able to provide more bold services with the support, inshallah, of all the member Ansar coalition. I would say we wanted to be the main point of contact, not only for the Afghan refugee, for any Muslim refugee that they're coming here, and for this any refugee that come to us for help. However, since right now we are facing the Afghans, and it's a desperate need to help them out, and it is a daunting challenge, I would say. So the focus is on Afghan refugee, and my request for all these organization and community that we are coming under Ansar is to let's focus and put our effort together to help them out. And most of these Afghans are coming here in fear, confused about their status and their future. And one last thing I could say, what we can really tell the Afghans here, that we need to be there and simply tell them it's okay. We've been there, inshallah, everything will be fine. And as I always say, help us, help them. ومن الله التوفيق, جزاكم الله خير, brother. I'll pass it back to Brother Fayaz.
Thank you, Brother Kabir, for really, educating and reminding the community about the importance of being there for these Afghan arrivals, the Afghan refugees that are coming, letting them know, reassuring them that we're here to support them. We did go through this process. I am an Afghan refugee myself. Our family, we came to this country in the early 1990s, as many other families, and inshallah ta'ala, with our lived experiences, we'll be able to mitigate a lot of the challenges that they will be dealing with. I did want to mention a very important thing, and that is, as I mentioned earlier, Ansar is a umbrella organization. We have several organizations that are part of Ansar, and I just wanted to mention the members right now. And if you're an organization that is interested in joining Ansar, inshallah ta'ala, Sister Lamba will be talking a little bit about how you could sign up and join the Ansar coalition. So the members that we have currently, we have ICNA Relief, which does great work, mashallah, in the Southern California region. We also have Care LA, which is trying its best to help provide legal services to the incoming Afghan arrivals. We have Mass GLA, which has been doing great work picking up folks from the airport. Islamic Relief USA. We have Khalil Center. We have PARS Equality Center. We have Access California, mashallah. Hajar Institute, the Shura Council, which mashallah is also an umbrella organization that serves many masajid and community-based organizations here in the Southern California region. We have AACC, and Brother Kabir did a great job talking about the work that they're doing. We have AMU, mashallah, the African American Muslim Outreach Organization, that is doing a lot of connective tissue type of work, making sure that materials are translated, that when the Afghan refugees come, inshallah ta'ala, they have translated materials to explain some of the most basic things that, subhanallah, they did not experience in Afghanistan. We also have Uplift Charity, mashallah, Uplift Charity. As we just heard, Mabruk to them. They just became a refugee resettlement agency themselves, and we're really proud of the work that they have been doing and looking forward to supporting the great work that they're doing. Finally, we have a Sahaba Initiative. We also have the Shia Muslim Council and the Afghan Literacy Foundation, and I'm going to be mentioning this one organization, and we'll be transitioning to one of its founders, and that is Qazizada Foundation. Mashallah, they provide mental health services. They have already been serving many of the Afghan refugees that have already arrived. And inshallah ta'ala, without further ado, I'm going to be handing it off to Sister Lamba, who is one of the founders of Qazizada Foundation.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Brother Fayaz. Salam alaikum, everyone. I am so glad that you guys are all here and watching us, and I hope that this session will be very, very informative to all of you. As Brother Fayaz had mentioned, I'm here on behalf of Kazizada Foundation, which is a mental health clinic based here in Orange County, and we're serving people in Orange County as well as in LA County and San Diego. I'm also here on behalf of Afghan American Muslim Outreach as well as ANSAR. And through our work with UNSAR, we have been actually be able to get connected with the county in Los Angeles and the Department of Mental Health and have begun working with the Afghan refugees who have been arriving. Currently, what we're doing is we are working with about 7 families here that have newly arrived who are experiencing isolation, who are experiencing trauma. And so we are attempting to provide services in Pashto and Dari and create a safe space for these families. As Brother Fayaz had mentioned earlier, as well as Brother Awais, we are seeing a large amount of Afghans arriving, and we're expecting even more Afghans to arrive. And so, one of the challenges that we have been facing through Ansar is the need to have more volunteers and more organizations participate and assist us in providing services to these Afghan refugees. One of the things that we have faced with a challenge is that we are needing volunteers to provide transportation. So whether that's doing pickups from airports, whether that's visiting families who have arrived and are feeling isolated, don't know where services are in the community, we are needing volunteers to come out and reach out to us so we can go ahead and share information with them and get some assistance and staying connected to these families. As Brother Fayaz had mentioned earlier, one way you can do this is actually reaching out to UNSAR. So we have a Facebook page and it is ANSAR of SoCal. So please feel free to reach out to us via that Facebook page and let us know if you're willing to volunteer. We're also going to post a Google form in our chat, so you can also go ahead and go to that Google form and sign up on there. If you're an organization and you have services that you believe are going to be able to assist the Afghan refugees or any other Muslim refugees who are coming in, please go ahead and reach out to us. We would love to work with you. We are in need of your services because while we have so many different great organizations within Ansar, we're expecting so many individuals to come in. So the need to have more volunteers, to have more organizations to assist is there. So we are hoping that this session was very informative, and we are hoping that you will go ahead and fill out that Google form, and we'll get connected with you. Brother Fayaz, is there anything else you would like to add to that?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Lamba. Thank you, Brother Awais. Thank you, Brother Kabir, for helping, be a part of this introductory webinar, inshallah ta'ala. We do plan on hosting more webinars, educational webinars in the future, inshallah. So please make sure to like and follow our Facebook page. As Sister Lamba mentioned, if you're an organization that is interested in helping support this effort, inshallah ta'ala, and joining Ansar and supporting the refugee resettlement agencies as they're resettling these Afghan refugees, please make sure to visit our Facebook page. We have Google Forms there so that you can sign up as an organization. If you're an individual that wants to volunteer, please visit our Facebook page. We have Google Forms there that are sign up sheets for you to be able to get in contact with us and be added to our volunteer sheet, and we will contact you. We do need help helping the refugee resettlement agencies pick up folks from the airports. We are here as a support. Ansar is a supportive network. We're here to support, inshallah ta'ala, entities like Uplift Charities, who are refugee resettlement agencies, to pick up folks from the airport. We're here to support and facilitate as much as we can. Again, we're all volunteers here to help visit the Afghan refugees that are at the different hotels, and inshallah ta'ala, become a buddy for them. As Brother always mentioned earlier, one of the things that Uplift Charity and the refugee resettlement agencies are looking for is buddy system. And we also have a Google form for that. If you want to become a buddy of a particular Afghan refugee, you could sign up on that Google form also. That way, those folks that are being resettled in these temporarily resettled in these hotels, they do want someone to talk to. And when they have someone that speaks Dari or Pashto or even English, in many cases, a lot of them speak English, it makes them feel more comfortable, makes them feel more welcomed. And it's going to also help their mental state when they're able to connect with someone here in the US, a country that they don't know much about. They got some training at the lily pad bases before they were brought to the Southern California region, but it's not enough. It's one thing to be told, hey, this is what you should expect, but it's another thing when you actually get a phone call from a local community member. These are folks that need Qurans, they need prayer rugs. So inshallah ta'ala, if you could provide anything for these Afghan refugees, please connect with us. Please contact Ansar, and inshallah ta'ala, we're going to be able to help these individuals get resettled in this country and feel safe, inshallah ta'ala, and be able to self actualize whatever it is that they want to self actualize, inshallah ta'ala. Without further ado, I want to again thank everyone for watching this webinar live. For those individuals that are watching the recorded session, we want to thank you all for also watching the recorded session. Please join Ansar, visit our Facebook page, and sign up on one of the Google forms. وجزاكم الله خير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.